Morten, he was Mr. Tesla, and he did so many Teslas. And when he started to slow down, he sent the customers to me, and I have had Teslas coming to me that has had Opti-Coat for 9 years ago, and they come to me and they have a new car, and they want to have Opti-Coat again on their car. So that's a testament to how good the coating is. And I have also tested it. I can see the coating is still there. The shine is still there. So that's, for me, the biggest selling point is just this Opti-Coat. It does what it promises.
Hi friends, welcome to the Opti-Coat podcast, where we share stories from detailing professionals and highlight cutting-edge products, techniques, and tools that'll help your detailing to accelerate into the future. Wherever you're listening or watching this podcast, please follow, like, subscribe, and share with a friend. I hope you enjoy the conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, well today we have Rune joining us from Denmark, and I'm so glad that we were able to find a time of day that worked for both of us.
Yes.
And we're so excited to have you on the podcast. Thanks for coming on, Rune.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, this is a big thing for me. I'm happy to be here for sure. So, yeah.
Awesome. And when I first asked if you wanted to be a guest, I learned more and more about everything that you're doing right now with your shop and with Opti-Coat. So I'm excited that we have a lot of areas to cover this morning, and
Yes.
I'm excited for how you're going to be able to shed some light and encourage detailers and distributors and, working in your area. So I wanted to kind of dive straight into, you're located in Denmark, and what would you say are some of the things that you love about detailing in Denmark, and what are some of the things that I don't know if there are any kind of different laws with waste or things that you can do with water in Denmark? What are some of the pros and cons of detailing in Denmark?
Yeah, Denmark is a fairly small country. We are like 6 million people. We consist of a peninsula and then a bunch of islands. And actually, all around Denmark, we have coastline. So you can actually do all sorts of detailing, it being boats, it being farming equipment, cars, planes, helicopters, whatever you want to do, you can do it all. There's really no limit to what you can do. You can do whatever you like, and I have always gone for what I am passionate about, and it's always been cars. So my main focus is on cars, detailing cars for sure. And regarding restrictions or regulations that might affect us in Denmark, well, we do have some restrictions, like I'm a shop-based detailer. We also have mobile detailers. It's not as pronounced in Denmark. There's not that many, but we have more and more places in Denmark where it's not allowed to have runoff, so chemicals going into the sewage system. So it's more and more difficult. And of course, we have no rinse, so that's awesome for the mobile detailer. But more and more people are not allowed to wash their cars at home in the garage or in the driveway, the traditional way. So in that sense, also, Optimum and Opti-Coat is great for that. Yeah.
Okay, would they be able to use no rinse at their house or in their garage?
Yes, they can. They can for sure use it. And all my customers, I would say 9 out of 10 customers, when I have detailed their car, polished it and coated it with Opti-Coat, and they come back after 30 days for I call it a wash course. It's like I show them how to wash the car with no rinse. And fairly recently, I started with the decon wash. I really like that as well.
Yeah.
So I try to get my customers, educate them about how to wash the car, not put it in a tunnel wash. And they can wash their cars at home with no rinse, and OPT products in general because they're very environmentally friendly. But it is becoming more and more difficult because more and more law is made about this. So yeah, yeah, I
Very
think that's it.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. With would you say that there's quite a few of the tunnel wash options in your area because it's not as readily accessible for people to especially people who haven't yet experienced doing a no rinse. When they buy a car, is their first thought, oh, let me get a membership to a tunnel wash? Or are there a lot of hand wash shops in your area?
No, there's not really any hand wash shops. It's kind of the tradition in Denmark. When you own a car, when you want to wash it, you go to the tunnel wash. And that's what I'm trying to educate people about, how bad it is for your paint and how easy it is to wash with no rinse, and especially when it's coated with Opti-Coat. So I'm trying to educate more and more people, but the majority of people, they want to go to the tunnel wash because they think it's easy.
Right.
Yeah.
Easy in the short term.
Easy in the short term, yeah. Not good for the paint. So
no,
no, not at all. So
well, that's great. How did you get into detailing?
It might be a long story, but I'll try to make it short.
We've got the time.
If we go back to 2009, I graduated with my bachelor degree. It's called I don't know how we can translate it to English, but it's a bachelor degree in social education.
Okay.
Kind of like a teacher, but not a teacher. Kind of like a caretaker, but not a caretaker. You can work with all sorts of people. The direct translation is pedagogue. I don't know if you have that. I Googled it and it says it's a word in English, but I don't think you use it. So after that, I worked like 5 years. I worked in different areas. I worked with kids with autism, kids with Down syndrome, grown-up adults with that were alcoholics or drug addicts, all sorts of people. And towards the end, I worked with young people. They were like 19, 20 years old, and they were multi-handicapped mentally and physically, and they needed care 24/7. And I really wanted to help these people, but you didn't really get anything back. And I couldn't leave the work. When I got off work, I brought it home, and it actually brought me, I came down with a depression, you call it. I was depressed. I don't remember exactly when, and I had to dig myself out of a hole. I had to reinvent myself. I think one of the things was also I hadn't really found my passion, what I really wanted to do. So I had a lot of time to think about this, and I had also, when I worked full-time, I had a part-time detailing business. They're called Rune's Bilpleje or Rune's Car Care. Rune's Car Care for you,
yeah.
And I really liked it. It was a passion for me. It was great, but I didn't think I could do it full-time. So after I got the help and I got out of this thing, the depression, I was ready to figure out what to do. And I contemplated becoming a car salesman, but I'm really glad I didn't, because I'm a very, very honest person. I was also a very open person. So telling this about the depression and so on. So I just, I found a detailer in my area who was looking to hire, and I called him up, and he hired me on the spot. And I started, I don't know if that's the right word, but I was subcontracting for him. And I had a little place in his shop where I could detail. And we mainly did dealership detailing.
Okay.
And then also, that was great. I didn't get paid a lot, but it was great. And then I slowly started to get more and more of my own customers. And I transitioned more and more to polishing and coatings. And I think it was in 2018, maybe 16, I met the first Opti-Coat Danish distributor in Denmark. His name was Morten Rasmussen. He was a great mentor for me, great friend. Sadly, he passed away a few years ago. But he really got me into this Opti-Coat, and I really found it very interesting because it was developed and made in-house, and it was different from other manufacturers, and also they didn't seem to have the what is called big arm movements or big what I don't know the name how to say that. So yeah, I started in around 2017. I did gloss coat a lot while I was subcontracting for this detailer. Oh, it's going to be a long talk, my story.
That's fine. Well, I think this is great. No, because a lot of people are working for someone. They want to know how to transition out. Was that an uncomfortable experience, or was the person that you were subcontracting underneath, were the polishing and the gloss coat, were those things he wasn't even interested in doing, or was he doing a different version of that?
He wasn't interested in doing it at the beginning, but he could see that I could make more money than he could doing quantity over quality, normal exterior and interior detailing, and the car dealerships he detailed for. So yeah, I did that, and I started to gain more and more traction. I got more and more customers. That was great. Then all of a sudden, one of the dealerships that he was detailing for, they wanted to move and build their own facility, and they wanted to have their own sales department and their own mechanics and their own detail shop. And he was asked to go with them, but he declined. I don't want to talk too much about that because they were not really good people, honest people.
Okay.
So they kind of tried to get him to go with them, and then all of a sudden he kind of asked, "Why don't you ask Rune if he wants to go instead of me?" and I thought about it, and my heart said no, my gut said no, but my head said yes, so I went with them.
Okay.
And I had to put in some money to become a part owner, and I set up the detailing department for like 10 or 11 months, I think I did it. And then I quickly found out that they really wanted to go in one direction. I want to go in another direction. They want to do their cars so they could sell them. Dealership detailing, nothing wrong with that. But my passion was with the higher end, the polishing, the coatings. And I really wanted to push it because I could see from Morten how he had developed his business with this. So we went our separate ways, and I found a place with a guy I know. He said, you can start your detailing business here. He had a storage place with lots of, not a very presentable place, but at least I had a place to start, and I had a lift. So it's just a lift, so I could lift the car up. Yeah. And then it slowly went from there. But I remember clearly when I had detailed or coated a Tesla Model 3 multi-red, and I was about to deliver it to the customer. I was telling about them the treatment I did to the car, and how they could take care of it, and please come back and I'll teach you how to wash it the correct way. And while doing that, it was crazy. All around us, I could hear mice running around. Had a mice problem.
Oh my!
At that point, I just knew that I couldn't stay there. I had to find my own shop. I had to invest more time and money into my own shop. So this is where I am today. I'm in this shop, and my business name is Detailing Center. And I've been here since 2021. And I have mainly done coating jobs, some interiors. I also started to do some PPF, but only on small areas like the rocker panels on the Model 3, the headlights, door sills, the luggage area, stuff like that. So
Okay.
Opti-Coat has really helped me get where I am today, so that I have, in my opinion, a good, solid business. So that's a long story.
Yeah. Do you want
short.
to? No, I love it. Do you want to expand on
Yeah.
that a little more? How Opti-Coat was a help in making it possible for you to be running your own shop?
Yeah, every time I had a question or a problem, I could call Morten, or I could go on the forum on Facebook in the installers group, and everyone was always so willing to help you. I got certified in 2018 with Opti-Coat, and just the ease of use and how the products work together. And I also really love the fact that the coatings are different chemistry than others, and they actually, in my experience, they actually protect the paint. It's not just for show, for the hydrophobics, for the water and dirt to run off. It actually also protects the coating from environmental factors. So yeah. And my customers were really happy with the coatings, so it was a no-brainer for me to go with Opti-Coat. Sure.
That's excellent. With what you're talking about, with what we're actually promoting when we do coatings, the ceramic coatings, whichever one, Pro Plus, Pro 3, Paint Guard, Ultra Shine.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of misconceptions about ceramic coatings, and what's
Yeah.
important to you about communicating to the customers with Opti-Coat and how it's actually beneficial. What about that transparency helps your interactions with customers, and what are you passionate about when you're selling these products to customers?
The fact, as I said a little bit before, the fact that it actually offers protection, and not just, it offers gloss and ease of cleaning, but it also actually offers protection against bug splatter, bird poop, road salt, UV rays. It actually locks in the shine, and I found that that is actually correct. And it doesn't really fade. It lasts. It goes on for years, and you have to, of course, decontaminate the paint once a year at least here where I am in Denmark. I really love the fact that I can trust the product to work, and yeah, it's really about the protection for me. It actually gives the protection that it's talking about, and of course, it's really important about these misconceptions that you are honest and open about what they would protect against and what they won't protect against, because there is a really bad tendency here in Denmark. I think it's everywhere, especially in Denmark, where they oversell the product. They say it can withstand chips, stone chips, and deeper scratches and scratching, and you can just put it on and you drive it. You don't really have to wash it. You don't really have to maintain it. Of course, when you have a coating, you can go longer between the washes. I don't like that. Because it comes back to me as well when they oversell the product and a customer has a bad experience with another brand of coating, and they come to me or I hear on the forum or someplace else that my coating actually didn't do this and that and stuff like that, and that's not good for all of us. That people oversell it and are not honest about what it can do and what it can't do. So yeah.
Yeah. Do you think has that helped put customers' minds at ease when you're the more transparent that you are with what their expectations should be?
Yes, for sure. Once you actually take the time before you book in the customer, take the time to explain to them what this coating is and what it will do and won't do, they're more happy to go with you and to use Opti-Coat, because you don't overpromise something that it won't deliver. So yeah.
With the maintenance line now, when you're bringing people back in after that month, to whatever it is you're wanting to accomplish, maybe you're wanting to also check and make sure the coating and everything's fine,
Yes.
and you're wanting eyes on the car. When are you having the most success of getting people to maybe take the next step in car maintenance with their vehicle? Because you could sell the products anytime. Do people leave the shop with handfuls of products, or if you bring them back in and they say I've been having such a great experience, have you found, like, as far as extending the business as with them as a customer, is that been an opportune time for you to say, if you like this, here's tire gel, here's power clean, here's X, Y, and Z? When have you found that to be most effective?
I always offer them a free, I don't know the right name in English, I call it a washing course, where you learn to wash the car 30 days after the coating. And really, they really enjoy and like when they pick the car up, when I've done the coating, they really like the shine, and wow, it looks great. Someone is joining. I see.
You got Tug.
Hey, what's up?
So
what's going on?
Not much. This truck behind me. Oh.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it was. The guy said it had, I don't know if it was something to do with tree gunk on it, which is not a big deal, but it's like you can feel it. You could see when I was cleaning it that it was. I was cleaning the sap or whatever instead of the paint, and that it actually looks like black dots. So, and it was like, I had to sand it off with clay. Usually, with clay mitt, you shouldn't have to push really hard, but I had to. I had no choice. Paint thinner wouldn't touch it. So yeah, I would have been done long ago, but I had to scrub that thing, and then I'm going to polish it in Ultra Shine coat.
Okay, well that's good that you're going to polish it.
Yeah.
So you got it done.
Anyway.
So,
yeah.
I'll catch you up, Tug, on we've been having an awesome interview, and I'll probably, Rune, just ask you to continue with what you were sharing.
Yeah. So when I deliver the car to the customer, they see, wow, it's so glossy and shiny. But really, when they come back after the 30 days, when I teach them how to wash the car, they're blown away about how easy it is to wash it with no rinse. Quickly, my process is, for some reason, we like to do a pre-wash here in Europe before we go over to no rinse, especially when the car is dirty. So we always use a pre-wash, and I've started to use the Optimum Decon Wash, which I really like, because I don't have to worry about it doing anything that it shouldn't do to the paint or plastic or whatever. And then we rinse the car, and then I teach them how to use the no rinse with the big red sponge. And when we do that, they're blown away about how easy it is, how little pressure you actually have to apply, and how little time it takes, and that you can relax when you wash your car. You don't have to, people like to use brushes and give it some love and scrub it.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that. It's so easy. It's so amazing. And and when I show them the solution left in the bucket, and they see that the dirt has gone to the bottom of the bucket in the no rinse, they're also just like blown away. So that's, at that time, I sell them a wash kit with these things, Opti-Seal when you dry the paint. So that's normally how I do it. I sell them that kit after the washing is done. And then they, once a year, I send out an email, say, hey, it's springtime, please come and get your coating decontaminated and ready for spring. And they come in, and I sell them a decontamination at that point. And that keeps me in touch with my customers as well. So, yeah.
Yeah.
when you talked about doing upselling. So yeah.
And can you tell me everything that is in your, and I'm sure that you can customize your bucket depending on the customer, because maybe they want to go with the touchless decon. Are you offering are you recommending they buy an IK foam sprayer? What's kind of your process to the customer? Because, in the shop, we might have the pressure washer with the foam cannon or the foam lance or whatever, and we can do the decon that way. Well, maybe a customer doesn't quite have all of those tools. What are you recommending in your kit to a customer?
Yeah, really all my kits contain the decon wash, the no rinse, Opti-Seal, the drying towel, the bucket with the grit guard, and the no rinse, if I didn't say that. They all get the same. I show them the same way to wash the car because I've gone through many different ways of washing the car with no rinse, and I found this method for the customer who's not used to washing the car that you can't go wrong this way. So I've had, in the beginning, I used power clean, and I told them, do not wash in the sun, always wash in the shade. And some people used power clean in the sun, and it's the glass, the paint, stuff like that. So, so I really use the same kit every time I sell a wash kit now. So yeah.
And then what all is in that kit?
You have the wash bucket with the grit guard. You have a I don't know, is it 64 ounces of no rinse? It's the leader for me. And then you have a bottle of Opti-Seal and 64 ounces of the decon wash. You have a drying towel, and that's basically it. As I tell my customers, you don't need a lot when your car is coated with Opti-Coat to maintain it, and Optimum's products work so well and do so many different things. I also, during the washing or straight after, I show them how you can use no rinse to clean the interior as a glass cleaner. I tell them I use it at home, on the floors, cleaning my glasses and all sorts of different things. So yeah, so that's awesome. Yeah.
So if they're using the touchless decon in Denmark with the regulations, you probably can't take it out in your driveway and rinse it off with the hose. Are you recommending they buy some kind of a foamer to go with the car and then go with no rinse after, or are there places where they can actually rinse the touchless decon wash off of the car and then finish with the no rinse?
And maybe I should. It's becoming more and more so that you can't wash your car in your driveway, but still, in many places you still can. But it's definitely going towards that you can't. In some point in the future, not far future, I don't think you can anymore. It's becoming more and more in different counties or places in Denmark. So you can still do it in many places, but at some point it's going to be a no-go, and then of course we have no rinse or the hyper foam as well, no rinse. So
right. Do a lot of your customers have maybe the attachment on a garden hose for a foamer, or do they like to get the IK sprayer, or
many of them have a pressure? Yeah, they have a pressure washer, or if they don't, I'm not yet at a point where I can sell the IK sprayers. I really want to, and I think I will do it in the future. But I tell them to go to the hardware store and buy a cheap pump sprayer, because they could do that with the pre-wash and then rinse it off. But more and more, people have a pressure washer and the foam cannon attached to it. So yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, that sounds like a very great kit, and we're talking about 4 products maybe, and that'll last them quite some time.
Yeah, for sure. You don't have to use a lot, so yeah, definitely.
Very potent. Now, I wanted to ask you to share a bit about your transition to becoming the distributor for Denmark, what that looks like for you, and what you're wanting to focus on as the distributor in this next season.
Yes, this is a huge thing for me, a huge opportunity, and I'm so happy that I was offered this. And I'm in the process of. I already made the first order. My supplier is Marcin from Poland, and we have a good relationship. And I'm having SDS sheets translated to Danish. Marcin is helping me with that as well. And I also have, in Denmark, you have to have a sticker on each bottle, a warning sticker, before you can sell it even to a business or a private person, So I'm doing that, and I'm having my web shop made as well. And my plan is to, of course, I'm going to Poland to refresh my certification with new stuff that has come up since 2018.
Cool.
So,
with Marcin?
Yeah, with Marcin, yeah. I'm going to Poland with him, and so I can start to train new installers in Denmark as well. Because it's a huge opportunity for me, and my plan is to I have a YouTube channel, and I want to start doing how-to videos, showcase the products and what they can do and what you can use them for. Because I think that's a huge potential with the YouTube. So I'm gonna have some nice videos made with the products, and every day detailing. I will make some short videos as well. So I have a plan for this to be built back up, because since Morten had it, Morten Rasmussen, he got the distribution back in 2014. He was known as Mr. Tesla. He did so many Teslas with Opti-Coat. They came from Norway, Sweden, Germany, all over. And at its peak, we are a country of 6 million people, so not a large country. At its peak, I think we were around 12 installers. But then a certain pandemic happened and other stuff. Some distributors didn't go well. So the installers, they kind of left. I stayed. I also did use another brand for a short period because it was difficult to get the Opti-Coat. So my plan is to build it back up. I'm the only installer left in Denmark. So so I have to rebuild it that way. That's how it looks.
Sure. Thanks for sharing that. Now we touched on it just a little bit. But in the installer group, I remember there were a group of installers that were talking about how helpful and exciting it has been to be able to offer Pro 3, whether we offer it as a lifetime coating or if the customer doesn't want the maintenance, we can offer as a 10-year coating. Now, someone just starting out as an installer, as a detailer, might not even dream of being able to sell a lifetime coating, and how great that can be for keeping your hours down at a shop. And basically, I'm saying all this to say you have the experience, just as Tug does as well, of doing dealership cars, having that mentality, volume to having a very profitable shop where maybe you're doing less work and your shop is actually generating a lot more income, higher quality packages. What's been your experience as far as being a business owner and your mentality of shifting from, I couldn't charge this, or people wouldn't, pay for this, to, no, I'm gonna seek after a high-end market. I'm going to offer great products, being very straightforward and honest with the customers, developing a good relationship. Has that been a struggle over the years of allowing yourself to dream as big as you have with your business, or has it been a pursuit of yours to go from, well, I like what I'm doing, but I'm maybe not making enough to justify the amount of hours that it takes to get to where I need to be? We also talked about you've got a family and having time for family and, you know, making that work. What's been your journey as far as all of that's concerned?
Yeah, well, I started with the dealership detailing, or the lower end detailing, and the money wasn't great, but mainly for me, it was so taxing on my body and my mind and my spare time. I couldn't do much when I was off work. I remember when I was going home, I was sitting in the car just staring out the windshield for like 10 minutes before I went home. I'm the type who likes to tinker with stuff. I like to be thorough. So it was really natural for me when I saw the opportunity to make more money and do a better job, better quality. It was a no-brainer for me. I just went with it. Of course, the Pro 3 is an expensive coating, and I've done a little more than a handful of Pro 3 jobs. I have it on my own car. It's great. It's awesome. But it's hard to sell because we also have PPF coming in Denmark, and some of the PPF you can get full front PPF for the same amount that I would charge for a Pro 3. So it's
But you've done a number of Pro Pluses, and then a detailer just starting out might not even, you know, think selling something like that is possible in their shop. And usually that just comes to a limiting mentality as a business owner, thinking I won't find the market for this. As you've honed into, you know, a high-end market, have you found in Denmark that that spreads through advertisement or word of mouth best, or just positioning yourself in the market to say, no, I'm not going to offer these really, you know, maybe they're cheap packages or services that they just kind of distract from where your business can really shine? What has kind of led towards that profitability for you? Getting nice vehicles, you know, the high-end market into your shop. How has that happened? Is that organic, or is that aggressive advertising?
Yeah, I have been doing aggressive advertising, but also word of mouth as well. And just believing in your products and knowing what they can do and knowing what they offer. You just have to keep the prices up. Don't go with the same low prices as I think 80% does here in Denmark. It's really low for ceramic coatings. It's like 1/3 of what I charge for a coating. So if you believe in your product and you keep your prices up, you also get the best customers. The cheap ones is always the ones with the most problems, before, during, and after. So just keep the prices up, and yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Tug, what are you thinking?
Rune, I was thinking about what you said earlier about being the only in Opti installer in Denmark.
Yeah.
And as a distributor, I think those two things are, you know, pretty cool that you can kind of be both. I agree. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for you or for anybody who's maybe far outside the U.S. or even just outside the U.S. in general to be able to do something like that. Is it your responsibility, or do you are you trying to get other installers to sign up kind of in your zone, or at least in Denmark?
For sure, it's my responsibility to sign up new installers, for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
But as I said, in Denmark, we have a very funny, weird market. We have many detailers, but many of them is really low, on the low side with the prices.
Yep.
And we don't really have the ones that suits Opti-Coat, so I have to go out and try and persuade them to use Opti-Coat again. Some of them, many of them, high end here in Denmark, they used to use Opti-Coat, but all these things happened and we couldn't get the products and stuff like that. So trying to get them, win them back, that's my job. I would do my best. I'm not the best at just, you know, going to a detailer and tell, hey, come back to Opti-Coat. And so yeah, so we also in a process of trying to maybe get Opti-Coat coatings at a lower price point in Denmark, so that we can get more installers back on our side. Because now mainly the ones I talked to, they used to install Opti-Coat. They're still talking about the pricing for the coatings.
Yeah. Are you talking about they're having are they kind of resistant to what they're supposed to charge for the coating?
Yeah. No, not really that. It's more the cost of the coating for them.
I gotcha.
Focus. Because when I talk to them, they all agree, they're all telling me without me saying anything first, you cannot place a finger on Opti-Coat, the performance and how it works and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
they're sold on it.
It's,
and that's understandable, especially when there wasn't a distributor, because you speak you're one of them, so as opposed to they want to call us and like, oh, maybe the language vary a little bit, so having you right there is going to build trust. So in a sense, I think you're starting over again. And if I can, and I don't know anything about being a distributor, but what I was going to say is it sounds like you need somebody who can kind of present the product for you. And you said you don't like, hey, dealer or detailer, sign up for this. Why don't you do this? It sounds like you might need someone that can that is good with people. And selling is not a personality thing. And what I know about selling isn't closing. It's not closing the deal. It's actually the opening. Somebody that can make calls, somebody that can go to shops. And it sounds like the detailing community there needs to be, brought up from low quality to much higher quality. And it sounds like they've already bought into, and I've done the same thing. I've looked at going, okay, that polisher's $400 or $500. I can't really swing that right now, so I'm going to go to Harbor Freight. I've done the same thing, and I'm sure we've all done it. So, but I know that from my perspective, and I think this would probably kind of be a good direction to head in, and I'm sure you would know much better than me, but like presenting it to potential installers and saying something like, I know you think the kits are expensive, but you're going to be more profitable. You're going to make that much more money. So the cost of the kit is going to be irrelevant. It's really not going to be that important because you're going to be able to charge, this much more. You're going to be able to market hey, my coatings are the longest lasting, the most durable, however they want to market that. That just makes sense to me, but I'm sure you know better than I would, but distribution and,
it's also, I'm a one-man band, so to speak. So I have to do everything and everything, so I have to find the balance and how I can do it best. Do I need to dial down my own detailing a little bit? And then I have to focus more on presenting. I have to present all the products as well. I will make videos and I will talk about them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
and there's nothing.
I'm certain I can find new installers. It's just a matter of finding the right angle to do it.
Yeah.
Because Opti-Coat has a great reputation in Denmark. It's just
Right. Good.
we need to bring it back up. So.
Right. And I think you definitely will. You present yourself very well and professional, and then the product I already trust. And what I was going to say was absolutely nothing wrong with being, a solo, being a one man. I'm running the shop by myself too, trying to focus on, one thing at a time. And I'm not distributing anything. Mainly, I'm just really trying to focus on practicing the things I'm not very good at, which is posting and marketing, and I do make videos and stuff like that for my customers. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with running your shop solo, and I know Jacob's shop is solo, and me personally, I do on, I would say, on a regular basis between $10,000 to $15,000 a month in revenue. I'm fine with that. I'm not looking to do $40,000 a month, and it's fine. I mean, I would rather just continue to do that. If the average was 15, I'd be fine with that. And I'm not looking. So, and you got to play to your strengths. If you don't want to be doing $100,000 a month in sales, in selling your stuff, that's perfectly fine. If you're fine with selling, whatever X amount, because what ends up happening is we can get we'll be distracted with like too many things, and then we're not good at any one thing, or everything is lacking because we're focusing on everything instead of one thing.
So Rune, I know that there was a gap with Morten passing away, and we had COVID, and there were some issues, supply chain around the world. Right now, there might be some installers in Denmark that have gone with another option, or maybe someone's wanting to start up their shop. Why is now the best time for someone to jump on and become an Opti-Coat installer?
Mainly because now we have a really good supply chain. We can really get the products. So I can supply the products to the installers. We don't have to be in a situation where we can't get some of the products or some of the product line. So right now, it's also the perfect time to come on board, because you can actually be part of it, put your own, I don't know how to say it.
Put your mark on the industry.
Put your mark on the industry, and even help me to see what direction we're going to take Opti-Coat in, because we are going to be the premium coating in Denmark, and that's the main goal. So come on board right now. It's a great time. We do already have a few. I have a few installers lined up that's ready, new installers. So now's the time to take the certification and hear more about the Opti-Coat and what it can offer. So, and just look at me.
That's great.
I did dealership detailing or low-end detailing, and today mainly what I do is coatings, polishing and coatings on new cars. Electric vehicles is big here in Denmark. I also do have some older cars where I do the two-step, but mainly I do new cars. And I've been very profitable with Opti-Coat. It's brought me to where I am today. So yeah, it's a great opportunity for sure.
And there's a lot of opportunities for coatings. What have you found as far as transparency and having peace of mind for the customer, that you're wanting to come back maybe 5-7 years from now, and they're so happy with the results that they're going to be a continual customer? How has Opti-Coat helped you to have peace of mind when you're selling these products to the customers?
As I said before, Morten, he was Mr. Tesla, and he did so many Teslas. And when he started to slow down, he sent the customers to me, and I have had Teslas coming to me that has had Opti-Coat for 9 years ago, and they come to me and they have a new car, and they want to have Opti-Coat again on their car. So that's a testament to how good the coating is. And I have also tested it. I can see the coating is still there. The shine is still there. So that's, for me, the biggest selling point is just this Opti-Coat. It does what it promises. Yeah. So
yeah.
It's,
and I appreciate
it's not.
you said. Oh, I'm sorry. I just was gonna say I appreciate that you're inviting people to help create culture for Opti-Coat in Denmark, and I think that's really exciting.
Yes.
And that's one of the intentionalities of this podcast, is to show, like you'd mentioned earlier in the podcast, about how you can ask a question to the installer group, and people are just so open-handed with information. Everyone wants everyone else to succeed, and that's a really exciting thing to be a part of, and to be able to be a part of that, reshaping the culture of Denmark, with like you had said, Morten had passed away, and some turbulence with COVID. This is such an exciting time to jump on it and be not just to jump and be a part of something that's happening, but actually to become an integral part of the culture of detailing in Denmark.
Yeah, you can leave this in, or you can edit it out. We also, after Morten, we had a few other distributors trying to make it work, but then the pandemic, and they made so many promises they couldn't keep. So then I think not only Opti-Coat, but many other brands, what they really want from a distributor is for them to really concentrate and about that one brand. And I think that's one of the reasons why I was asked to be the distributor, because I love Opti-Coat and Optimum so much. For me, it's a family, and that's why I've been here so many years. So yeah.
Well, we really appreciate how you're in the trenches as a detailer, and you're able to show people like this is like you can make a living off of this. You can be transparent. You can be straightforward with your customers, and you can really trust these products because you use them with your customers. And now as the new distributor, you're able to say, hey, I have all these years of experience. I've been a part of this this family.
I think that's going to be one of my biggest strengths, is that I know the ins and out of these products. I can really showcase how to use them and how they work. And I think that's the angle I have to do on my YouTube channel when I start doing the videos. Really focus on how I see the products and how they work for me. So yeah.
Tug, any last thoughts?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Rune, I really do think this is a great opportunity for you, being, you look around and say, oh, the only installer. Well, the pioneer. That's having more installers brings more awareness, I think, to higher quality. But I think it's a great opportunity, especially that you're doing this by yourself. I think it's, sure, it's an impressive. It takes great skill to have a team and to be able to pay them and provide jobs, grow your shop, provide. I get that. That's a skill that, I don't really have that. But I think for you to be able to do what you're doing by yourself, that's a skill too. It may be just as challenging, maybe it's more challenging, maybe it's less than having a team. But I think as far as somebody like, I think you are a fantastic, basically, face of Opti-Coat in another part of the world. I think that's great. I think you're going to do well. I think you present knowing the products in and out. You're not just trying to make money on this. Obviously, you're going to, but you're doing this because you believe in the product. It is a family. The reason I'm Opti-Coat is not because anybody convinced me. It's because Opti-Coat made me more profitable. It made me better. Of course, it's you that made yourself where you are. You know what I mean? But you brought in the things that helped you. So it wasn't like an inanimate object. It wasn't some soulless bottle of whatever that did it. It was you. But nevertheless, you're bringing in the Rolls Royce of products, and I think you're going to do fantastic. If you need anything from me or Jacob, or I'm sure Don, or any of us, not that I'm just a installer. I'm not employed by Opti-Coat, but if you need anything from us, we can definitely point you if you need how to present, to get installers. I'm sure we can collaborate and kind of help you out in that regard. But I think you're going to do really well.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. So.
Well, we really appreciate you coming on the podcast. Rune, did you have any last thoughts you wanted to share?
I hope I didn't ramble too much that you can use.
No,
not at all.
No, you did fantastic.
There's so many other things that we could talk about. We could talk for days about Optimum and Opti-Coat because it's so dear to us and dear to me.
Yeah.
It really is for me. It's been this the whole time. It's like it's a family for me. It's not just business. It's I can go to you guys. I can go in the forum. I can go to Masin. I can go to David. I can go to Don, Dr. G, and I can get help. I really appreciate that. So thank you for having me. And
absolutely. And we're gonna have you back on after, because obviously you've been installing and running and gunning for a while in this new distributor position. We'd love to hear back about how things are going and what you've found works and what this looks like a little bit further down the road. So we look forward to having you back sharing about that. And in the meantime, we hope that everything takes up very quickly and that you're able to get the right network around you to really, push forward excellence in detailing in Denmark.
Yeah. My last words, so to speak, would be if for some reason I can't make this work, I'll do everything in my power and I will make it work. But if for some reason it doesn't work out, just to let you know how passionate I am about Optimum, Opti-Coat, I would still use the products. If I couldn't use them, and maybe again I'm too honest, I don't know, but that's who I am. If I can't get OPT and Opti-Coat, I don't think I want to detail anymore. It means that much to me. So, and that's also just to tell you how great the products are and how great they work. They actually do what they're designed to do, and you don't have to go elsewhere. You can have the whole product line, and you can be very successful. So,
I think it's that honesty that will attract people to your process and this great network that we do have. So we really appreciate it, and we hope you have it's funny because you're finishing your day and we're just starting ours. And
I have to go back and continue polishing. So I'm not going home yet. So
well, we appreciate you taking the time to come on to the podcast, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Rune. Thank you, Rune.
Nice to meet you guys.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Bye.
See ya.